Good morning, Patreon subscribers. We're going to show you some major pairs, but I want to show you how to add the moving average onto the ratios. So it's probably not that self-explanatory. This is why you might need a video so I can show you what to do. Navigator, we want to add a 21 moving average on this like we do on the FXCM trade station. So we want to get, signals using the moving average class. Navigator, then we want to go and moving average, but you hold that moving average and you drag and drop onto that window, and then you go apply to first indicator window of data. 21 is fine. You can do simple MA, to be honest with you, just keep it simple, and then that's how you add the moving average. So if they go long, we should fall, right? And see how we had a reaction here. Okay, so that's how you add the moving average to the indicator window. And so they shorted it on AU, so we can potentially come up, but they will need to continue to short it in order for us to go up. The SLC above is 67.47, one below 66.35. We are a sell, so we kind of ideally would want that to come down in order to get that stop loss cluster above. We came very close, and they're both large as well. We have monthly pivot support, so you probably, technically speaking, you want to be buying the dips, but you want these guys to be selling. Okay, and we've got like an interchange here where the buyers are in control, and I've added the better volume. So red is buy, white is sell. Okay, so there's some buy volumes here, up here. Okay, and you want to do is see the candles above that moving average line. So that's the quick way of looking at it. So red is buy, white is sell. All right, let's look at EU. I was saying how this was going to go up. Because we had that crossover. If it loads, it might not. Yeah, okay. Take these off, and so we had a sell. They sold it, so we had the buy. Sorry, there. And we come up quite a bit, and the buyers are in control. The last notable volume was a bullish volume here. So this area here, you could argue, you can make like a square shape, rectangle. So we know that bullish one here corresponds to this. So this should be an okay support using that logic where, we've got a lot of buying pressure on that volume, and that coincides with that candle. So this should be a good support. We've got monthly pivot, and we are a buy. We don't really want them to be buying though. Right, if you're long, you don't really want to see that. So be careful. And GU, now we're taking the stop loss cluster above as I was doing the stop loss cluster update, and the new one is at 122.24, quite close, and the one below is at 121 on the dot. We are a buy. Take these guys off. Kind of annoying, to be honest. And well, there's the buy. Okay, here. They sold it, so there's the buy here, and we had monthly pivot last month's support, and we've currently got this month's monthly pivot as a support. Now we've got a bullish candle, so we can potentially, if you wanted to, we can draw a there. It looks like EU's. It looks a bit like EU, doesn't it? Where we got some support, so that would be 120.85. So potentially we're going to have a probe of that stop loss cluster, but we'll have some support based on that volume. So get a copy of the better volume, really good, and just map your zones based on the, what you're seeing here. White is sell, red is buy. Let's look at dollar Swiss. I don't know if anyone's trading dollar Swiss, but it can be quite nice sometimes. Likewise, let's take these guys off. And we could potentially be getting a buy, so we've got to be careful. If they're selling it against the 21 moving average, it could be a buy op. You've got to be careful, but the thing is, at the high level, it's a sell. The buyers are in control, and that was a bullish. So we currently are within this this range. So 94.37, and that low is 93.28. So we're going to be potentially in this chop. Ideally, we wouldn't want it this high, but if they're going to sell it against the moving average, then we can potentially come up and get that. It's 65 pips away. So yeah, a bit tricky. And dollar yen was a bit like my nemesis yesterday. I was watching it and I was like getting a little bit frustrated because I'd like this to fall ideally. 137, well actually we'll just say 138, and the one below is at 136.16. Buyers are in control, and there was a sell-in node there. So insert shapes, rectangle. That one corresponds to this, and we're currently within that chop. So below 136.41, that looks likely, and then the SLC is within that zone, and the one above is at 138. So above there could be a good long, maybe, but you're going to have monthly pivot as resistance. A break of that, you're going to get the stop loss cluster, and you've got support. So currently a little bit, in the middle of pivot and support, and within that chop. Okay, and that's it. So hopefully it helps, and what you want to try and do is add the moving average. Doesn't take long to do, and it gives you quite a nice little setup there. So they sold it here, so making that a buy there, and you would have done okay on that move. It's a 300 pip move on that one thing. Okay, and that's that. Do note that we've got this bearish node here, so they're the levels to be working with, and we've got monthly pivot as a resistance. So ideally we'd be looking to sell rips because of that. If we go above monthly pivot, then we have to target resistance. All right, keep it nice and simple. Below monthly pivot, you target support. So a bit tricky, and I'm just going to monitor today, and be careful with the euro yen as well. That's how I trade the day, but we have got some supply overhead, which looks a little bit ominous. It looks like that's going to potentially hold, I think, 144.32. And it might be that if this falls, we're going to have a negative week, which would suck, but that's one of those things. I suppose in hindsight, this could have been a speculative trade of the day, but that's okay. Just note that we've got some supply, so look for a long above for a bounce. Okay, so hopefully that's clear, and have a good one. And I'm going to do an FX SSI video now, and I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'll find out when I make that video. I'll speak to you guys soon.